I wanted to do this video for the longest time, but I've been putting it aside, but now it's finally time. Hi my friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Casper the Boy Diviner, and please feel free to subscribe to me if you enjoy tarot related news and tarot collection stuff. I upload every Wednesday and Sunday, so if you want to be notified, please click the bell icon below as well. From the thumbnail and from the title of this video, you probably know I want to talk about the animal decks that I have. This was on my to-do list since June. I don't know why I put it off for so long, but when I saw Simon from the Hermit's Cave do one of these, I felt like, it's time. Everyone's gonna do a VR, which is amazing, and I should be doing a VR as well since, I've been putting this off for no reason whatsoever. Maybe I wouldn't say that it was for no reason whatsoever. I'm gonna take back what I said immediately and talk about how I honestly don't feel super in tune with animal decks. I kind of prefer decks that show humans. I used to feel like animal decks were more ambiguous in gender and things like that, and that's why I preferred them to some extent. After some experiencing and using the decks, I do feel like I do connect more with tarot with some human figures in them, the art. At the same time, I still do really enjoy these decks. But before I continue, again, oh my god, I'm so sorry, it's taking me so long to get through all this, but I just want to give shoutouts to many animal decks that I really like, and yet I don't own. Probably because I have too many decks right now, I'm not using them enough. I don't know if I can connect as well with animal decks. So it is an ongoing process, and I do need to discover how I feel about them in general. So the decks I wanted to quickly give a shout out to are the Forager's Daughter Tarot, the Brady Tarot, the Embroidered Forest, the Forest of Enchantment, the Tarot of the Magical Forest, and the Wilder Woven Tarot. The Wilder Woven Tarot is one of the top decks in my wishlist right now. But let's see what happens in next year, because I'm not supposed to buy any more tarot decks already. I might break my rules again, definitely, but I'm gonna try to put this off until at least next year. Okay, with that finally out of the way, I'm gonna talk about my animal decks. The first animal deck I wanted to share with you, I don't know if it's really an animal deck, but I wanted to cover the OG animal deck that everyone should know about, that some people don't like right now. It is the Wild Unknown Tarot. I think a lot of people fail to realize why this deck is widely lauded as in L-A-U-D-E-D. And I do see like Papa Squirrel talking about how this is the worst tarot deck ever. That honestly hurt my heart a bit. But everyone has their own opinion and can say what they want to say. At the same time, this is one of the OG decks. People are using this deck today and putting it up against the standards of indie decks and other decks. What they don't realize is this deck paved the way. If you treat this deck more as a collector's item, you treat it more like a symbol of history, this deck is definitely up there. Before this deck, I don't feel like there were many well-made tarot decks. There were definitely no ribbons in boxes like these. Everything was in a tuck box, This deck paved the way for us, and I just wanted to put it out there. It is an animal deck to me. This was my first animal deck. The court cards were all animals, and really beautiful animals. Like the stag here. It is also a pip deck in a lot of sense, but it's all very nature based. See the fox? It's been a long time since I touched this deck, and I'm thinking of selling it, but now I'm not too sure. Having it in my hands, it's always like this. But I wanted to point this deck out definitely as one of the OG animal decks that I still appreciate to this day because of what it has done for tarot and the tarot scene. The next deck I wanted to talk about is another mass market deck. It is the OTHERKIN Tarot. I really like Shiolo Thompson's art, and even though the OTHERKIN is not exactly fully animal in a sense, it is definitely an animal deck. I really enjoyed this deck. I really want to use it more. I like the watercolor washes, and I really like the anthropomorphic animals like this one. And I really like the choices of the animals for each card. It's really varied. It's not like cups are the cups are water, so we have some animals that have to do with water. She didn't approach it that way. It also has some humans, and that's why I kind of appreciate this deck. I feel like the anthropomorphic nature of some of the animals here, along with some of the humans in the deck, helped me endear me more to this deck more than other pure animal decks. So this is definitely a deck I recommend. I really like the cardstock also, even though it's a bit shiny and glossy. I find that it's easily shuffleable. So those are the first two decks I talked about. The third deck, now moving on to more indie decks. The third deck I wanted to talk about also doesn't have that, cups is water, so we have a water animal. I do enjoy that also. I'm not saying that's wrong, but I'm just saying that this is another deck that doesn't follow that, and that's the ORIENS Tarot deck. This is a pure animal deck. No humans, it is purely animals. I mean, of course, the pips are drawn and shown, but all of this is a single animal, or more than one animal, but the animal represents the suit as well. It is a beautiful tarot deck. This is a beautiful deck. And every time I use it, every time I post on my Instagram with this deck, everyone comments, what a beautiful tarot deck. The thing is, again, like I mentioned, I'm not someone that is easily, I like animals, I don't love them, I don't own any. So sometimes it's hard for me to reconcile what I see with one of my favorite cards in this deck. Sorry, I have to pause and say that. I don't automatically see an animal and understand why it connects with the meaning. I read this like how I read RWS because I already am such an old hand at those meanings. It is easy for me to see immediately. I like this card a lot. This is one of the reasons why I bought this deck, along with the Death card that has the Axolotl, my favorite animal. I think I talked about that in the walkthrough of this deck. But I really enjoy this imagery and I want to use it more. I want to use all my decks more. At the same time, it takes effort for me to learn these animals and learn how they actually correspond with the meanings of the card. Still, again, it's in my collection. This is one of my favorite animal decks that I own. Along with the Wild Unknown, it comes with the Oracle deck. This is a mass market one and I don't know why I'm doing it in this order, but I am. Don't scream at me. The timestamps are below. You can skip through them if you want. This is the Animal Spirit Oracle, which is also by Kim Krantz, and this is one of my favorite animal decks also, but this is all basically what do you call that? This is an Oracle deck. I screwed up this Oracle kind of. You can see the gel pen on it, but I still am gonna use it this way. I have no choice, and some of the cards don't have it because I didn't get through doing all of it after screwing up. But I do like this this animal deck and I want to use it more. Maybe I'll just use it today and test it out again. The next two animal decks I wanted to talk about are a specific single animal, and they are cats. I like the idea of cats. I love looking at cats, but I'm also afraid of cats. I've seen my friends being scratched. I've seen injuries. I don't know. I want to pet a cat so badly, but I'm so afraid. I don't know why I'm so scared, but in any case, I have two decks to show today. The first one I haven't really worked with yet at all, to be honest, is the Tarot Cats, which I don't really have a great impression of based on what I've seen. Let me know if you want to see a full walkthrough and my impressions of this. And then there's also the Weird Cat Tarot, which I love. I love this one. I'm gonna show you the one I love first. And I think you guys are already sick of seeing this deck. I really like these cards because they are so cute, but I rarely get a chance to use them because most of my readings tend to be pretty serious, and I don't know if any of my clients would appreciate seeing this cute little hermit, you know? And the star. Oh my god, I love this deck. Every time I take it out, I fall in love again. I just don't use it enough. Okay, maybe I'll use it today. I say that all the time for any deck I take out, but yeah. 8 of Swords, look at that. Look at that third eye cat. Yeah, but I like this deck a lot, and I feel like this is a really good themed deck. It is not only cats, just random cats, but it is a weird cat, and her art style is so vivid throughout this whole deck, and I appreciate that. And the Tarot Cats, I really love the imagery of the box. It has so much promise to me, but when I see the cards, I guess it's because of how glossy it is. It makes me feel very uncomfortable already, feeling how glossy it is. I numbered it. I'm planning to do a walkthrough actually. I just haven't gotten to it, but I like these cards. These cards are beautiful. The majors have so much promise. So after you look through the majors, I feel like the minors kind of feel a bit more unfinished, and I also don't like the font. I am picky like that, and I do feel like the minors somehow don't feel as finished to some extent. And yeah, again, the borders are pretty big. I would actually maybe like to see a borderless version of this deck. I don't know, but it's really up to the artist. And art is very subjective, like I said. If you enjoy this deck more, and I think a commenter actually told me they enjoy this deck more, you know, feel more than the Weird Cat Tarot. Yeah, feel free. We all have our different tastes, and I love that. Sometimes we need to get a deck to understand what works for us and what doesn't. And this is a deck that I thought I would like a lot, but somehow the combination of how glossy it is, combination with the font here, and some of the cards feeling less than finished, you know, made me reach more for the Weird Cat Tarot if I want to use a cat tarot than this one. At the same time, thank you so much, my friend Thy Kindred Crystals, for actually passing on this deck to me. Receiving pre-loved decks is something I would always, you know, be happy to actually check out, because it helps me grow my understanding of the tarot. It helps me understand what I like. The next deck I want to share is, I don't know if you consider it an animal deck, but I would, and it's the Children of LITHA Tarot. I'm having problems with this tarot because of the difficult to shuffle nature of the rose petal finish, but to me this is an animal deck. So all the cups have aquatic animals. The majors are all otherworldly creatures, which I love. But that's the reason why someone might not consider this an animal deck, because all the majors are kind of human-like. What a painful card. I love that card though. I love the font. They are small, easy to read. The pentacles are all basically land animals, and I think they are mostly herbivores, the pentacles. All the wands suit are actually felines, predators. And if you look at the last suit, which is the sword suit, and I didn't talk about it, but the sword suit are all the birds. So I really like that theme. I told you, right, in some of the other cards like ORIENS Tarot deck and the OTHERKIN, they don't really have that. Land animal equals to pentacles, herbivores are pentacles, water animals are cups. They don't do that, and I like that, but it's a bit harder to connect because I'm not so familiar with the animals in those decks. Compared to this, where I see water animals, I know that it's a water deck. A water suit. That makes it easier. And I do like the inclusion of the humans in this deck. I do like the otherworldly creatures like the dragons here. Yeah, all in all, a great deck. I just wish it was more shuffleable. The last deck is also another deck that I don't know if you would consider an animal deck, but I consider an animal deck, and it's one of my favorites now. I'm sure you guys are sick of seeing this, but it's the BOTAN Tarot. You've seen this enough. I don't know if you want me to show you these cards. If you actually watch my videos, you would know this deck has been shown many times. It also has otherworldly animals and rarer animals that you will not see, but all these animals are the court cards. So the King of Coins is a horse, for example, on the back, you can see it. So in the minors, he is shown as a horse, for example. Like the Seven of Coins, this is actually I think the Knight of Coins, a monkey, and the and the Page of Swords is a sparrow, which is shown here. So this deck is, to me, an animal deck because the animals are all shown in the minors. The snake for the Seven of Cups, this is the Page of Cups, a crow. So this is how it is being drawn, even though sometimes the animals are drawn as humans also. So it's very interesting. All the majors are not animals, they're humans. So you might not consider this an animal deck. I consider an animal deck, and I really appreciate this deck a lot. So I guess you can tell from my biasness in this video in a sense. I do like decks that are animal based but have some human element to them. It helps me connect a little more, like the BOTAN Tarot, Children of LITHA Tarot. I enjoy the ORIENS Tarot a lot. I feel like I can have deeper readings with it if I got to know the animals better. The OTHERKIN Tarot has anthropomorphic animals and a bit of humans in it in the Knights. As for the Wild Unknown and Animal Spirit, because I don't know the animals as well, it also has that blocker for me. But in any case, this is my collection of animal decks, and I really hope you enjoyed this walkthrough and show and tell. If you have any ideas about what other collections or themes you want to see from my channel, feel free to let me know. I'm also happy to gather information and show you other decks that I want that is part of the theme that I don't own, like how I did at the beginning of this video. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and you guys have a great rest of the day. You take care. Bye!